Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Majestix Heroclix Podcast. If you like our content, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. If you're interested in learning more about the Bronze Age format and the Majestix Open Series, please check out openseries.majestixccg.com. Also, if you want to learn about Heroclix strategies, tactics, and lists from the game's top players, please visit majestixccg.com/apex-insiders. Lastly, if you're looking for Heroclix singles, please visit our eBay stores at stores.ebay.com/MajestixHeroclix and stores.ebay.com/ClicksCollective. All the links for everything I just talked about is below in the description. And again, my name is Jeff. Today, we have a special guest, Roland Wellington.
How's it going, guys?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I just started this new job, and this is kind of just going through the training right now, but I'm enjoying it significantly more than my past job. So
there you go.
Things are looking good.
Nice. Are you going down to Tucson this weekend, or do you have to stay because of the new job?
I talked with Pat about going before I got into this new job, and we had a plan to go, and then they told me on my first day that so the 22nd is the first day that I'll be working with the kids. Okay. And I can't take that day off. So because the event ends so late, there's no way for me to get back to where I'm at in California in time to get to work on time. So I'm just it's next time, guys. Next time. I know. I had some spicy teams I was working on, so we'll just have to save it for practice around the shop.
There you go.
Pat is not going to join us this week. He's got some stuff going on, but we're just going to jump right into it with the most recent qualifier.
Yeah.
Up in Washington. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
All right. You see everything?
I do. Yes.
Zoom in so we all can view. We'll start with the fourth place team.
Okay, working our way up.
All right, so we got Jared Parker, robot team +4, 200-point Vision Prime, 50-point Juggernaut the Construct, 30-point Tri-Sentinel, 10-point Superman, a Soul Gem, which I'm assuming is going to go on Vision Prime.
Yeah.
And then no sideline and a New York map.
So first time Vision Prime making an appearance in the top 4 or top 8. It took him a little bit. This one looks more like a point denial team with the Juggernaut Danger Room construct on there. So you have to, if no easy points, you have to beat through Vision or beat through Juggernaut just to get some points, right?
Yeah. And
go ahead.
Realistically, they're giving up 40 points pretty easy. Yeah. And then Vision should be able to recover that fairly effectively and quickly.
Yeah. Because I know for one of the qualifiers, Patrick and I were looking at a Vision Prime just to see what we can do. And we built it more traditional. There's a TK, or it was him to get across, everything like that. And the idea was tie up Vision as best as you could and go get the other 80, 90, 100 points, whatever it was, and win that way,
Yeah.
So, but hey, again, seeing a little bit more diversity out here, seeing Vision, at least some potential there with a point and L build. Maybe there's another build out there, but it's a figure that you got to look at. So
yeah, when I was playing with them, I had entities, I had relics. I was going super bronze with it. So it's good to see a little more traditional build.
Yeah.
All right, let's shake out Mr. Chip Barnett. So not a lot of controversy, but some controversy with the Ultron swap team with the Magnetos. We talked about it with Jackson. So Chip went about it a different route. So he did the AOA Magneto, 150 points, Ultron Drone 8, the Professor X swap, and then he ended the X-Men there, and he went non-theme with Felix Faust, Molecule Man Collector, with the Symbiote and Venom Symbiote, so Superior Foes and Earth X.
Okay.
So he's swapping in with Professor X, Emperor Gladiator, Old Man Phoenix, and Venom Magneto. So, and then he's got other Trouble Alert friends on the side.
Right. So yeah, this is not your traditional X swap team. This is, I'm playing 390 points. You're playing 300 points. I'm bigger than you. I'm going to beat you.
Yeah.
Which is another version of the Ultron team there, going with 2 Hosses with Emperor Gladiator and Old Man Phoenix. And then you run it out with non-theme support TK, Felix Faust, with Prob, Molecule Man with his barrier and token manipulation, Collector for the bumps. There you go. Yeah.
So do you think it's better to run theme or non-theme for the X-Men swap? If you were to build it out, how would you go theme or non-theme?
I would go the beef route. I would go 390 beef guys on there.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you do the theme or not, the rest of it, you could go X-Men theme, but here's your prob, or here's this, and you're not worrying about trying to swap in Beast or Jubilee or whatever, or pull out a Cable or a Kitty Pryde. Just go 2 big guys, 390, and X-Men support and punch.
Okay.
You know? But I think either one works on it. The theme mechanics is a little better because you get your map if you want map, but also if they have a beginning of turn effects, you can dictate which way they go on it. So there's benefits to both, but I mean, I like the beef version versus the Swiss Army knife, I'm trying to counter you version.
Yeah, I think that's what I've been building with, trying to go with the beefy. I got 390. I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
I was talking with Chip about it, and he was going an Undying route. So he was playing the Wolverine that doesn't die, and Lockjaw that doesn't die.
Oh, okay.
So that's something else to look at. But you got the points to play with. So there's a lot of avenues that you can go with this, because Professor X does the Shi'ar, he does the Illuminati and X-Men. So you're not just pulling from X-Men. Like the Emperor Gladiator he's basically getting a free Emperor Gladiator on the team.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, all right, I'm playing with an extra figure. Let's see how this works.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then he said he lost to Corey, and he lost to Animals. Corey's the guy who won the mystical
all right,
team.
so he lost to one of them in the prelims, and then lost to whoever he lost to in the semifinals. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I believe it was this Animals team that beat him.
Okay.
Because I think Corey played Jared.
Okay.
So all right. So Matthew Peterson, second place, Animal team, close to my heart here, guys. You know how that goes. So we had Alyosha, Spider Hamurai, 2 40-point Maggots, Chipped, Titano, and 2 Grods with the emotional modifier, and the Living Spirits will guide us location bonus, which is the Wakanda Earth X. So pretty standard Animal team minus the Wendigo. So I think he changed an extra Grod and the location bonus for a Wendigo.
But right here you have Alyosha Craven making reappearing in the top 2 here, but making a cut again. It's been a little bit since we've seen a Craven animal build get there. No new pieces from any new sets, even recent sets on here. It's pretty much, like you said, your standard animal build, a little bit of variation in there. Last week I was on the podcast with Pat. Jeff wasn't able to join us, so of course we had some technical difficulties last week. That podcast has still not gone up. May not go up, but I'll give you a little teaser from it.
Please.
Pat and I did a little PTI thing, and we were like, which is the bronze figure that's most likely to win the 2K in January? And neither of us mentioned Craven, but here's Craven making it to the top table. I think he's in the discussion. I said Lieutenant Gordon. Pat said Prime Nighthawk. I think you got Shatterstars in there as well, just doing a top 8 here in Las Vegas. So Craven's in that discussion where a true bronze figure could win the 2K and has the potential to win. Yeah,
like he's since from the beginning of all this, like when things really started kicking off, Alyosha has been consistently on a top 8 team. Not just in the ICQs, but when we were doing Master Mold events and other bigger events that weren't the ICQs, like he was showing up, he was dominating.
Yeah.
So
when I was researching for the first ICQ in May, and I had been out of the game for a bit, and I was going through Majestix site, looking at old builds and everything, the 2 that consistently showed up was Alyosha and Jason of Sparta. Those were the Bronze Age figures that you built around that were still dominant with the modern figures.
Yeah. Because they're constantly bringing new animals, and Jason has 3 great keywords that he can share with. So he's just, again, he keeps getting new, better figures to bring up and drop, and it's always better when they can do things after they've been carried.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
All right. So the cream of the crop right here, we got a mystical theme team +7. So we have the 75-point Blackheart, 75-point Doctor Strange Recruiter with Brainiac, which is a nice addition. Give him that reducer and stuff. 35-point Mad Jim Jaspers, Felix Faust, Magic with a Sword, Tri-Sentinel, and a Wendigo with the Spin Ring, Reign of Terror location bonus. So he has 4 objects on the sideline. It's the Cosmic Cube, the Power Gem, the Blood Axe, the Zero Ring. And then for recruiters, he's got Jubilee, Richter, Wendigo, Tri-Sentinel, and Venom Doctor Strange. So there's a lot going on here. What do you think, Roland?
So for this one, it is your standard proven mystical team with 2 new additions from the latest set, Mad Jim Jaspers and Magic with the Sword. And I think those are figures that when they first got previewed, people were like, yep, they're going to go on the existing teams of those keywords. So changing up the recipe a little bit to add in those mechanics. We've talked about Mad Jim Jaspers before. Some of it was last week where we kind of covered that figure. And here he is, his first tournament that he's legal, he's on the first place team over there. So a nice addition to the mystical team. I'm assuming that the way it gets played is the Cosmic Cube goes on Blackheart, and then Doctor Strange or Felix Faust picks up the ring, and then you have 3 figures you're swapping with, Blackheart, Magic, and then either Strange or Faust is getting the swap with Jaspers. So,
it's the blue Cosmic Cube. I just wanted to let everyone know. If you guys forget, it's the one that came with Kobik. So it's the free choose one, place the character up to 3 squares from its current square, or until your next turn, improve targeting, elevated hindering, and modify range +2, or give an action token to an adjacent opposing character. If you can't, deal them 1 penetrating damage. So that has a lot of utility. Like you said, probably for Blackheart, the +2 range and then the stealth busting and seeing through elevated for his EE is huge. So that makes Blackheart much scarier.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where he's playing 2 different sideline mechanics. You have the Jim Jaspers, I want objects on the sideline. You got the Doctor Strange Recruiter, I want figures on the sideline. So you have to be really diligent in your slots. I would like to see a Jim Jaspers team that doesn't have any other sideline mechanics to where you can go 6, 7, 8 deep with your objects, which how you want to do it. Because, for instance, the Cosmic Cube is 30 points. If you also have the 30-point Infinity Gauntlet, that's 2 30-pointers you can swap back and forth with your main character. Magic Sword's a 10-point sword. He has 1 10-point object on there with the Power Gem. If you had a few other gems or a few other 10-point objects, you could really utilize Magic, the fact that she's getting a 10-point object on her.
Yeah, she can become a scary tertiary attacker.
She can, exactly. And then you have, if you run another 5-point ring, then you have the 5-point object. So there's 3 levels you can slot at on your sideline if you had the room for it. So
yeah.
But no, Jim making it on the first one. I think Magic from X of Swords, I'm going to call it now. She's going to be the most played figure out of X of Swords.
She's such a good taxi.
And she, looking at her, so these are her keywords. She has Mystical, Ruler, and X-Men. So you're looking at 3 very prominent keywords that she can fit on right away with her 30 points plus 5 for her sword that she can go on there. Plus she brings leadership to the team and prob, right? So
which one is it? Is it the 25-point one, right?
No, I thought it was the the uncommon, the 35-pointer.
No, this one's 25 plus the 5 points for the sword.
Oh, so he was using the common one. Okay.
Yeah. So it's got the phasing and the passenger 4 and then the perplex.
The perplex. So similar things. Keywords that are strong. Perplex instead of prob on there. You have the carrying instead of the leadership, but both of them provide support powers. But again, you're getting the same keywords with Mystical, with X-Men on there. So those are keywords that fit on a lot of existing teams that she can just slide right in on. And she shares, depending on which version, 1 to 2 keywords with Jim Jaspers. So she's a perfect fit with him to utilize to get a free 10-point object, start utilizing that on the team.
Cool. So
those magics are going to be very well utilized commons and uncommons right there.
Yeah. solid figure in sealed and outside, and obviously in the competitive. But I definitely expect to see more Mad Jim Jaspers in the future.
Yeah, I think we're looking at Mad Jim Jaspers there for as well. And also, by the way, congratulations to Corey for winning the ICQ. Since last week's podcast hasn't gone up yet as of time of this recording, we will see you in Las Vegas on January 6th through 8th. Those are the dates that we have set for the 2K Invitational and side events for that as well. Got it confirmed with Pat that we do have the room reserved and everything, and the dates are locked in. So we are good to go to have this in Las Vegas.
Yeah. The itinerary is pretty much done, so I'll hit you guys with all that information later, but save the dates. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
It is. So just looking at this top 4, and for those who are asking, why is there only a top 4 instead of a top 8 listing? I believe it's just because they had 13 players for this one. They ran a 2-day event, and I know they had a modern event on that Saturday. I believe that's how it worked.
Yeah.
So had 13 come back for Sunday for the bronze. So I believe they just cut to a top 4, but we're looking at 3 out of 4 theme teams, and then 3 out of 4 are running a prime as one of their main mechanics. So you have Jim Jaspers as the prime, Craven as the main mechanic prime for the animal team, Vision as your tentpole prime. So again, as it's what we've talked about before in the podcast, where that prime slot is very valuable.
And on the unthemed too, Emperor Gladiator.
Oh yeah, Emperor Gladiator. That's right. I always have to look at the sidelight too. So on the prime team, so all 4 primes, and then so you have 2 temple primes on there, getting on there. So that prime slot's very valuable. That's why it's hard to get a secondary mechanic prime on there, like say a power broker just for the willpower, or one of the Yelena's messes with defense abilities and everything like that with poison. It's hard to get on there when you want to build around your prime. So.
All right, so that's good for the ICQ. We're going to touch on topic 2, the craziness behind the design of figure. So for a couple, I think it was like a day or two, everyone was like losing it that it was off the list, and then like within the past hour, they added it back on. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. What do you think about them leaving it off or forgetting to add it or not putting it on? Do you think it was intentional? Do you think it was an accident, an oversight?
You know what? I don't know, really. Like, it could be any or all of the above. I don't know if WizKids would, like, once they make their decision, they seem to stick with their decision, you know? And even if there's player outrage, it's not an immediate change. Like, they have to, we'll review it, we'll do this, you know.
Have a little powwow and...
Yeah. I mean, so I'm leaning more towards it was just a mistake since there was no announcement to it. And they didn't really... promote here's the prizing for the world championships. Like, I found it after a few Google searches, but it's not even prominent on the front page of WizKids.com. So I think it just might have
get me started on the website.
Not on there, and we need to add it on there. Whereas if it was deliberate, they would have either officially or through representatives said, no, this is not going to be on there. This is why. The wrestling conspiracy theorists would be, they left it off just to see the response, if there would be any, and then, oops, no, it's a mistake. I think that's a little too next level for them. They don't really operate that way. So I'm going to say probably just an oversight, you know. What are your thoughts? How are you thinking?
I'm going to go, I think they left it off on purpose.
Okay.
And because it's a lot of work to deal with the player and build the figure and the back and forth. And, you know, if the player's not happy, like... whatever, right? So, but from my understanding, it's a lot. You don't get as much back and forth as you used to, and they've not accepted as much input for figures. Is kind of how I feel. But you know, it's back on, so that's good. Well, it's back on for singles. It's not on for teams.
Yeah.
So they've corrected that. But you know, they listen to the group of their players that are fighting to get this figure, and they honored it. So I think that's great.
Yeah, I mean, if they, you're right. Over the years, there have been, time delays, issues. It hasn't gone smoothly for both parties. For those who have designed the figure, I think if they were going to do it and replace that prize with a different prize, they would have made an announcement. Like, instead of designing a figure, you get a master paint piece like we used to do back in the day, or a paint master or something. Like, you have a little extra in there for it, or you can do the unboxing video for an upcoming set or something like that, you know. But if they are having design difficulties, especially with the way that they want to design a set, you could have it to where the prize is the winner gets to choose the character and maybe which version of the character. I want Golden Age Deadshot, or I want Secret 6 Deadshot, or I want this team up from Nova in the Annihilators team up. Design the figure, but here's my theme for the character. You know?
Okay, that makes sense because there's a lot more game elements to be had.
Correct.
Like you brought up the team ups, like that's cool. And then also for like the Huntington stuff, they do like you get to get yourself clixed, or you get to design a legacy card or a bystander. So like that's great pricing too. Like I think the whole point is to leave your mark in the game.
Yeah.
And if it's like a legacy.
And like if you are fortunate enough to win, and hey, you get to choose a figure that we get to design. My favorite character is Wolverine. I'm probably not picking Wolverine because there's always going to be a Wolverine. They're not going to know mine's Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
But if you like an obscure character, like say Forbush Man, they're never going to make a Forbush Man. Can you make me a Forbush Man? Can you make me a whatever? Maybe a character that hasn't been clicked in the carded era, and like, I want it out of this version of it. Or maybe it's an Elseworlds figure like. We got Rogue holding Mjolnir, or Thor, all the different Thors from Battle World. Just pick something like that and then let them design it, you know?
Or some sort of venomized, someone who's never been venomized.
Yeah, exactly.
But because like alternate pricing to not just building a figure, like I think is a great idea, because back in the day, like you get to make ATAs, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Like Esprit got to make the Rogues ATA, and there's a bunch of other ones that guys got to make. So that's, you know, it's like leaving your territory almost. Like I made that. So I'm glad it's back. I hope it was an oversight.
So I actually have the list up here for those who don't want to bring it up, but we can just run through it real quickly. But this will be subtopic for topic 2, right? Yeah. So there is participation prizes. You get 4 LEs for participation prizes. Ashley Barton, which is a current one, and then 3 older ones, Hulk and Red She-Hulk, Kingdom Come Red Robin, and Jack Frost. So really old ones. But hey, 4 participation prizes just for making it. And this isn't just everybody can go and play in this. You have to qualify it for it down there in Memphis. So you get 4 LEs for that.
Yeah. Top
32 gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more additional prizes. 4 of them are the current Plastic Man objects. 2 of them are the older objects, Tire Stack and Barrel, which I don't know if ever got released. So you're getting
those were the WKOs in like February of 2020.
Okay. So like very few people got them. So your top 32, you get 6 objects plus a Zatanna LE, older Con LE. So again, newer objects, old stuff. So balance in there. Top 16, you add on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more LEs for making the top 16. The most recent one is going to be 1 million BC Phoenix. So the rest of the top 16 are older ones that are out there.
Yeah.
But again, they're just trying to give you volume, I think, of this.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving on to the top 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more added to the top 8, and actually 5 more LEs, and then a Disney Plus Chase Prime set is the 6th one. Okay,
that's good.
So
that's nice. Do that.
It is.
The Scarlet Witch is like $250, right? Like she's stupid expensive.
So it's 5 more older LEs, but a new Chase Prime of what would be the second most recent set at the time when it comes out. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's really good.
There you go for making top 8. Top 4, you add on to that a Chase Prime set for X of Swords, so the most recent set. So you have that for making top 4. So if you make top 4, you get 2 Chase Prime sets of modern figures and a bunch of Silver Age Con LEs with a few moderns in there. There you go. And then for top 2, you get, in addition to that, Disney Plus factory set, which should be a second Chase Prime set if they're calling it the factory set. An Exo Swords object set, so you'll get all the swords. I'm going to assume that means the storyline ones as well. And then
not necessarily, because that's a separate set.
Oh, they're counting that as a separate set. Okay, so Exo Swords object set, and then winner, you add onto that an Exo Swords factory set, so you get the 2 most recent sets, doubled up their chases and primes, and you get to do a design figure. So there is a lot of volume that you need an extra bag if you top 4, basically.
It's a lot of stuff.
Have an extra bag, and looking at it, we have two moderns out of the top 32, plus 4 objects. So you're looking at 6 modern, more recent ones, and the rest are older moderns or silver.
Okay.
I'm not going to complain if I get top 16 and I walk out with over a dozen things in my hand.
Yeah, you're
that
gonna
I
get
can
price
use,
out good.
sell and play. I mean, you made top 16, you didn't top 4.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
You got there really good. But also, WizKids hasn't had one of these in 2 years. I don't think they had one in 2020 or 2021, correct?
2019.
Yeah. So they have
It's been like 3 years.
Technically, these really haven't been given out a lot. So.
Okay.
Could it be better? Sure. Is it jank? No. I wouldn't complain if I got it.
I am excited for the Plastic Man objects.
Yeah. So I actually Patrick in town loves Plastic Man, and he paid out the nose to get him from Canadian Nationals.
Ooh, it hurts.
But he has a full set, and one of them may be making a debut down in Phoenix or Tucson this coming weekend.
Did they add him to the legality, the modern legal list?
I assume they did, but I will check that before I print out my build sheets.
Because they just updated it with a bunch of new stuff. Let me look.
Okay.
So WizKids Rules Forum, Tournament Modern Legality, and then list of
While
modern.
he's looking that up, for those who aren't familiar, Plastic Man was one of the conf LEs that you could have ordered away for if you got a brick of Wonder Woman 80. When they had Wonder Woman 80 come out, you could send in your proof of purchase for a brick, and they would send you a con LE for that year, and he was one of them. That's where the Justice League Fulcrum figure was in there as well. And he probably has been handed out at a few things, but he came with one object, and the way his card is worded, it required more objects for him to really use his mechanic. They finally released 4 additional objects for him this summer.
So I'm not seeing it. So they have the Batman Catwoman, the Harley Quinn. They added that. The Superman, John Constantine's Zatanna, the 3 in the little package. The Wonder Woman Jumpa, Brainiac Lex, Ares, Batman Jarl, Grodd. And then they have the regular Plastic Man with the mailbox. But they don't have any of the other ones on here.
So they have every other figure that came out around him, but not that one.
Not those specific objects. Because they probably haven't released enough of them to have it like a legal.
Well, you know what? This sounds like this might be a post in the Bronze Age discussion forum on Facebook we're your source for all Bronze Age discussion material as relates to the Majestix ICQ of, are the Plastic Man objects going to be allowed for the Tucson ICQ? That might be going up in a few minutes after this podcast is recorded.
I'll answer it now and say no. Because it's not on the modern legality list. Like, we didn't have what is it? Lady Phoenix wasn't on. We didn't make Lady Phoenix legal till like almost like a year after her being out, because she wasn't on the WizKids League on the WizKids modern list. And finally, we were just like, she's fine.
She's been out long enough.
Yeah, and she's not like super broken. Like, she's not going out winning events just because there's only a few of them out there. But so yeah, all right. Well, that cleared that up. And speaking of Arizona's ICQ, what are you expecting to see? Are you going?
I am, yes. So I'll be down in Tucson. I'm actually going for the weekend. And turns out that there's a bunch of tournaments in the town that weekend. So there's the regular Friday night Heroclix tournament in Phoenix I'll be going to. They're running a 300-point modern. I'm assuming getting all the new Sword stuff. Then Saturday they're running a practice event. I don't know if it's going to be a full tournament with like prizes and rounds or just a practice session.
Yeah.
But Saturday's a practice session, and then Sunday is the ICQ. I will be in town for all three, and I'll be showing up at all three and playing and everything like that. So
nice.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any rules questions, ask Roland while you're there.
So I'm going to be the only person coming from Las Vegas. I don't know of anybody coming from Phoenix yet. I guess I'll find out Friday. I'm kind of surprised that they're not doing a 300 bronze practice run right before. So it kind of makes me think that maybe the Phoenix guys aren't going down, but you never know. Maybe they already had it scheduled, or people's like, we just want to run the Extra Sword stuff. Let's have it. So
yeah.
And then I know the Tucson guys are going to come strong. We had two of them up at our Las Vegas ICQ last weekend, or I guess 2 weekends ago. So they're going to have their player base ready for it and excited for it. I'm excited to see how many players are going to be there. If I know the Phoenix crew, there's basically like two guys that kind of are like the motivators that would get the cars to go down there. If one of them just says, hey, let's get out there, there's 3 or 4 more coming down from Phoenix, and you got that. So
nice.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if Pat's making it or not. Have you talked to him about it?
That's
like we were supposed to go together, but I can't go. Is he still going?
I haven't talked to him since I found out you weren't going, so we will find out.
Sorry.
If he that's okay. If he can't make it, then I will have to find a map from somebody else. And I'll be representing the ICQ Bronze Age Majestix people podcast, whatever down there. So if you guys have questions about the event in January, feel free to ask me about that and everything like that. So, I'm excited to see what people are going to play, because I know that play group they're not net deckers. They're not, I don't want to say traditional players, but they are going to be creative. They're going to try their own stuff. Whether it wins or loses, they are going to not just copy the latest top 8 build list. They'll maybe add their own flavor to it. So I'm excited to see what that does. And going into an environment like that, that's a X Factor heavy environment, that's really hard to get through the prelims, because you might run into that one just oddball team that stones you, that goes 1-4, but their 1 was against you in round 2.
And it messes you up for the whole game.
And you're just like,
for the whole tournament.
How did you know? How did this happen, right? So it'd be real interesting to see what happens from that down there. I know the two guys, Jordan and David, they've been running in a series on their blog. I don't know if it's just YouTube or IG, but they have a blog going on where they kind of have been building their team from sealed events. And that's what they're running it at their ICQ. So it's going to be interesting build, but not like a perfect build.
Yeah.
But they've been playing it forever, so they're going to know the builds on there, Curious to see what comes down from Phoenix. Phoenix is S. Brooks territory, or his, like he likes to think it is.
I think he's back in town.
Is he back in town? There you go.
I think he's back on the mainland.
Okay. So if he comes
I hope he goes.
If he comes down there, expect some, foo-foo horse-pucky team that does one action the entire game and goes to a roll-off, and he loses in the quarterfinals to a roll-off. That's just typical S-Book. So I'm looking forward to see that crash and burn happen. And then if Paskey makes it down from Phoenix, Paskey is just, let's roll some dice and get in your grill and let's see what happens. Let's do this. Yeah. So it'll be an interesting field down there, to say the least.
So who do you think is going to win?
Oh, myself. I mean,
yourself.
I'm not traveling for 3 days and taking 2 days off of work to not walk away with the Bricks X of Swords. So
as much as I'd like to say you're going to win too, I'm gonna say Wes.
Wes, okay.
Wes is the guy.
No, for me, the most important thing is to enjoy the weekend. Yeah. I'm glad I'm going down there representing Las Vegas. I get to return the favor for the guys that came up from Tucson. There's a few personal goals and personal things that I want to prove to myself, and that has nothing to do with on the map performance or anything like that. So it's a good weekend that I decided to go ahead and do, even if I'm going by myself. So Patrick isn't able to make it. Paskey may not be able to make it. So I was like, you know what? This is just something I want to go do. Go play some Heroclix, meet some guys, have some fun. I'm gonna try to win. Don't think that I'm gonna be an easy mark. when you guys
Oh,
face
no,
me.
no.
So like it's going to be a team and it's going to give you a run for the money. But if I get, run into the anti my team, or I make a mistake or something happens, hey, that can happen. I can tell you this. It is going to have some Bronze Age elements, so don't just expect some of the new hotness or the new modernness. So there's going to be some Bronze Age on there, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
All right. Well, best of luck to everyone in Arizona this weekend. Safe travels for the ones that are traveling.
You know what? I was just going to say, again, to reiterate, since last week's podcast didn't get up, that for the 2K Invitational, it is going to be in Las Vegas, January 6th, 7th, and 8th. So that's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that is a 3-day event that we are going to have there. All 3 days are booked. It is going to be at one of the local libraries that has a huge room that we are planning a lot of activities for the weekend. So yeah, if you're traveling in the town, we're making it worth your while to come in the day before. You're going to have to take some days off. There's the 2K Invitational for those that make the Invitational. There's going to be a 1K on Saturday, and then there's going to be several side events that we're going to have throughout the weekend, along with activities to do. We're going to have vendors. Pat's going to have his Majestix down there for his booth. We're going to have some other activities that he's planning, that he's trying to work together for you to do throughout the course of the weekend, not just play Heroclix, working on AV for podcasting, live streaming, stuff like that. So we're planning on a big West Coast event in Las Vegas again.
It's going to be like a Clicks convention.
Yeah. He was calling it ClicksCon. So hopefully he needs to trademark that relatively soon, or I want to steal it because that's a good idea.
Patent pending, motherfuckers.
But no, I'm excited for Tucson. After Tucson, we have Indiana, and I believe that's the last one, unless we get another one scheduled between now and then.
I believe Pat said that North Carolina, Greensboro is going to do one more, and then he's going to do one more, so it rounds it out to 12.
Okay, so we're going to get up to 12. Okay, because I know when we were designing the 8, it was having a little bit of trouble for the schedule, so we're doing for a 12 on there. Okay.
I think that's the end plan.
The end plan is to get 12 in there for that.
And then we'll get up to 16 the following year.
Gotcha. There we go. So I'm excited for Heroclix. I'm excited to be part of it and help. I know Jeff and Pat is excited to have a spot and to get a lot of people out there and to see the creativity and everything that we got for Heroclix here on the West Coast.
Yeah, it's been a blast doing this with Pat, and I'm glad you'll be able to jump on and do this with us. It's definitely been a ride. I'm enjoying it.
Oh yeah. Very cool. So I think that covers our topics for today. Did you have anything else that you wanted to go over?
No, that was pretty much it. It was a nice short one.
Okay, we'll do a short one. So last week we had some PTI topics. If we can't recover that podcast, we'll revisit it in future topics and future podcasts that we're doing as well. So
yeah, you guys will be seeing a lot more of Roland.
Cool. Look forward to it.
All right. Don't forget to practice rolling your dice, guys. Take it easy.
See you guys.
Shake it, Cali.